So, you want to make Flappy Birds in about 45 minutes and make millions out of it? I'm probably not gonna make that money, but I can teach you how to make that game. We will start in Epic Games, Epic Launcher, because the game will be epic, you know. Okay, you can stop laughing. Well, click left here on Unreal Engine and make sure that you have downloaded some version of Unreal Engine. In my case, it's 4.24.1, but it probably won't matter what version you are using. If it's newer, it will work, probably. So launch it, and we want to create new game, and let's go with preset side scroller. Great, click next and let everything as it is except this. We want to start with starter content. And now I would urge you and recommend you to name your project, because it's a bit of a pain if you want to do it after that. Okay, time to start our glorious game. Okay, so we have loaded some preset which you can play with. If you click on play, you can walk around and do all the funny stuff, and this kind of preset very much easy, makes our job much easier. Nice, good English, mate. Okay, let's look down in content browser and click on side scroller BP and click on blueprints, where you have our blueprint, which is a set of code and assets that are working in some kind in our game. We will start by creating a new blueprint, and that will be by clicking right click here on blueprint class and set it to character. Let's call it new character. No need to be actually original, and it shows us that we can't use any kind of space. So double click on it, and first thing we will do is to add some static mesh, because we are creating just a prototype of the game and we don't need to make some fancy assets and stuff like that. So let's just create here a cube. After every change you make in your blueprint, we have to compile it. And now when we have our glorious character, at least visual side of it, let's do some proper coding. Click on Event Graph, and here we have 3 tabs. And we will use event tick. As I said, I'm not going to explain what most of this does. Only with event tick, it means that every tick of the game, which happens a lot of times per second, I believe it's about 60 or so, but I may be completely wrong. Let's take a line from it and add movement input, because we want our character to move. And because we want to move along Y side, along Y axis, let's put here -1 or 1. It depends where you want to move. So let's minimize it. Okay, but to make it work, we need to start by deleting this, because this is not a player we are going to use anymore, and we can delete this actually too. Let's click here in search classes and create player start. Put it here. Well, that's a bit too far. Alright. And one more very important thing, you need to go to detail, now to world setting, game, and under game mode, set it to side scroller game mode, because that's a game mode we will be using, and default pawn set to our new character. Okay, and click play if it works. And it works beautifully, which means that our character is creating and is moving. The problem that we have just seen with camera is that we actually haven't created any camera, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I'm not. So let's create new camera and put it from side. We won't be actually using in this game camera from this blueprint, so it doesn't matter that much where you will put it. Now let's try to click play again. And here we go, looks much better, but we are still looking from somewhere else. Alright, that's about it. What do you think? It looks brilliant to me. Alright, let's go back to our blueprint. Not that blueprint, to our new blueprint. And we need to create some kind of jump, some kind of action. And for that, we'll right click again and create keyboard function with T, which means that every time I press T, it will execute code that will be following this. And in my case, it will be launch character along the z-axis, and let's go about 1000 units. Let's see what it will do. Okay, works. Let's press T, and it's jumping. Wonderful. Okay, so we have our basic gameplay functionality. So now let's prepare it a little bit for our glorious game, which means let's delete absolutely everything. Oh, not that one. What is that? Atmospheric fog. You can delete all this. You won't need it. The only thing I want you to have here is light source and skylight, because this beautiful sky cannot be deleted just that easily. Well, it can, but it would look kinda trashy. So let's leave it like that and copy this floor. No, not yet. We'll actually scale it up and then copy it and paste it. Put it up. Wonderful. And as you can see now, we are moving along. We are moving to the right, and now as you can see, we are constantly moving to the right, and with pressing T, our character jumps a little bit up. If you want to let it jump higher, which is exactly what I want now, is to simply add some amount of numbers here. That was probably a bit too much. You now just have to find your perfect number. Okay, but to make it a little bit more interesting, we will, and to let it look a little bit more like a real Flappy Bird, we will go to character movement in our blueprint and set gravity scale to 2.5, which means that gravity will be 2.5 as heavy as on regular Earth or as in a regular Unreal Engine, because it's not completely same as in Earth. Not really 9.81. Doesn't matter. So which means that our character will be now falling much quicker down. Let's see if it works, and it works. At least it seems like it. But for that we will have to again increase this kind of guy. And you can actually try to override z-axis. Try to match settings that is perfect just for you. I believe that I will use it like this. Oh, that's a bit too much. That seems to work just fine. Okay, and now to make it look a little bit more interesting, we will go to our sky blueprint and let's look at cloud speed, because now it looks almost static and we want to make it much faster. So let's set it to about 20. What it will do? Now you can see it's moving much faster, but I'm still not really satisfied, so I'm going to go with let's go 50. We are going to be adventurous today. Woo! That looks much better, I believe so. I would believe so. Okay, the next thing we will do is to create our camera. And for that, we will create a new blueprint. You may wonder why we are creating a new camera if we have one in our new character, and that's simply because it will be very hard to make a camera not move along with a character if it's in the same blueprint. But if we will do it like this with two different blueprints, it's much easier and saves a lot of power. You need to make your game as simple to play as possible. because there is a lot of people with weak computers, let's say, with weak hardware. Okay, let's go to character, then let's create character and call it camera actor. Again, without spacebar. Actor simply because every asset you create in Unreal Engine is called actor. Alright, and we will create camera. Wonderful, and let's set it to... let's not set it anywhere, let's compile it and create some absolutely same movement here. Done. Wonderful. But you may see one thing that won't work very well for us. Well, we need to set it right next to our character, but that's not the important part now. Okay, let's put it here, for example. The problem is that now if I hit a play, our character, which means our camera, will fall down. Oh, you can see it, but it's falling down. You have to trust me. For that to work, we need to stop the game and set up a gravity scale to 0, but in that case it won't properly work with our other movements input. For that we need to maximize our acceleration, and now it should move about the same as our new character. We will see it in a moment. Alright, but one more thing we need to set up is to actually tell the engine, so Unreal, that we want to look from camera of the new blueprint we just created. And for that we will start here with event begin play in our new character blueprint. Alright. Okay, let's start with get player controller. And from that we will create set camera view, I believe. Set view target with blend. That's almost what I said. And now from event begin play, let's get all classes, all actor of class, and the class we are talking about will be camera actor. Okay, wonderful. From that, connect it to set view target with blend, and here we will get actor. No, that's definitely not what we are going to. We are going to get a copy and new target. Just to be sure, let's rename this camera because it's not good if we have a lot of items with same name. Let's call it camera main. Okay, and from here, let's get a copy. Wonderful. And we want to get our camera. Get camera view, that's not what we are going for. Get owner. And now connect it to new view target. Wonderful. Okay, let's see if it worked. Let's click on play. And our camera has beautifully changed to what we wanted. And as you can see, our actor, looking a bit far, doesn't matter, is still reacting to our control. Wonderful. Okay, the next thing we will set up is generating next steps or next floors as our character, our bird, will run. So let's do it by creating new blueprint, actor today, right now. In this case, I sometimes know too many words. And let's call it floor. It's a rule floor. Okay, wonderful. Open it and add component. In this case, it will be cube. Let's make it smaller and scale it a bit like this. Let's just first step, keep calm, and put it here. And as you can see, I have scaled it along bad axis, which means that I have to open it again and rescale it. But right now I can put it just on this side and rescale it and see in real time how it looks like. So it's not that much of a problem. Okay. Wonderful. Oh, no. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Alright, just let's make sure that the start of our mesh will be in place of this in this place. Just completely forgot how this shape is called. Let's ignore that. Alright, compile it, and let's see how we can put it somewhere. Somewhere that's in almost same places as this one. Okay, great. Let's open it again and scale it a little bit more. We can even scale it like this just to make it look better. Oh, not along all axes, just like this. Right now, copy it and create another one on the top as a roof. And as I'm looking at it, we can still scale it. If you want to select both of them, you have to hold Control when you are selecting them. Alright, then let's see what we just created. Oh, looks just about right. So let's delete these two meshes and watch it work. Wonderful. One thing that I want to do is to bring this a little bit lower. How does it look? Still a little bit lower. These are aesthetics things that you will have to figure out for yourself. Just what do you want it to look like? Perfect. Now we need to set up our function for creating new set of meshes, which is this actor. Alright, let's go to game mode. Under blueprint, game mode, edit side scroller game mode. Ignore all this user stuff and open full blueprint editor. Wonderful. And what we will do is to create new function. Let's call it spawn next floor. And the only thing we wanted to do is to actually spawn how are you called? Actor? Actor from class, exactly. And that as that class we will use how did we call it? Floor, I believe. Yes. One more thing you need to take care of is spawn transform, because the engine needs to know where he should spawn it. But we won't take care of it now, we will simply put it here. Which means that we will set it up here in our floor blueprint. Okay. Alright then. Now we will create collision. Box collision, for example. Let's see what it is. Here it is. Let's rotate it and make sure it's that it covers all the space that our bird can eventually fly. When I say bird, I still mean our cube. Okay, let's put it about here. And what this collision does is that once our cube will interact with it, which means just touch it in any way, it will execute our action. And to set it up, we have to click here. I just clicked on, just to make it clear, component begin overlap. And first thing we need to do is to do some casting. Casting means that one blueprint will call to other blueprint, say, hey, I need something from you, basically, like that one friend you always use. I didn't say that. Okay, and first thing we need to cast is our, and I forgot how we call it, new character, because that's the character we are actually interacting with. Another thing we need to do is to cast to our game mode. So let's cast to, I believe it's called, no, it must be called side scroller game mode. You can create your own game mode, but there is no need to do it now. If you are casting to anything, you need to make sure that you take care of this object. It's sometimes quite hard, but in case of game mode, it's very simple. You simply write here get game mode, and set it up. Everything is taken care of. And for that, we want to execute, I believe it was spawn next floor. Great. Which means that right now, once our character will overlap this, it will execute this function. So much to say that I won't be explaining too much. It doesn't work right now once I compile it because we haven't set up spawn transform for that. We are going to... Oh, come on, mate. No, just to have it a bit simple. Let's add arrow and move it on top. Make sure that your coordination, that every other location is set to 0. Okay, wonderful. Tag it here. And from here, set get world transform. And now split structure pin. Same here. And simply take from here a location. Let's see, what's the problems? What's still the problem? Of course, target must have connection, because we are taking this function from game mode, which means it must be connected to here. Okay, now let's see if it will work. Move it a little bit. And for some weird reason, our camera is faster than our character. Why is that? Okay, let's do something like this. It spawned it, but a little bit lower than we wanted. Why is that? That may be eventually a problem. So let's see where we have made a mistake. Alright, now I have figured out what we have done wrong. You simply need to make sure that arrow is not here, it's under default scenery root, but that's not the problem we made. What we need to do is to select everything and move it, I believe, somewhere like that. So our transform is about 0. Oh, in this case. Okay, it doesn't matter here, and here it shouldn't matter as well. Let's see if it will work. And it works quite beautifully. And as you can see, if you click comma on the left upper side of your keyboard, you can see that every time our cube crosses this right now invisible trigger, it will create a new character. There is a bit of a bug which makes it not work right now, but don't be afraid, we will fix it in a moment. Every time right now it actually creates about 2 different triggers and 2 different actors, which made it very difficult, but we'll fix that. Last thing we will do here is to add under event graph and event begin play. Let's set here a delay. About, I believe, 10 seconds will be enough, which means that after it will be created, it will wait for 10 seconds and then it will destroy yourself, because we don't actually need it. And destroy actor. Let's see if it will work. You have to wait for 10 seconds, but it should be just nice. As you can see, it's now deleting itself. Bravo! Let's go and fix that bug. Well, we will simply do it by creating another blueprint, which will be our starting blueprint that will create new blueprints. A lot of blueprints. Doesn't matter. Let's duplicate floor and call it floor underscore start and open it. In this case, we will delete the upper one. And for some weird reason, yeah, check out here box. Let's say we'll put it here. Okay. And move it a little bit, just to differentiate it. Okay, everything should be same. So let's see what it will do if we put it in our game. Oh, come on, mate. Where are you? What are you? Alright, let's put it here. Delete this one. And put it somewhere around here. What we will do is, firstly, let's move that arrow. And secondly, we have to edit our code for a bit. Let's go here in our floor, and after that let's put here do once, because we want it to happen only once. Let's see if it will fix our problem. You can watch it right here because it will tell you how many actors it creates. Now it created 2 actors, and it's for 7, for 8, 9. It seems like it works just fine. As you can see on the right side, now the amount of actors is almost same every time. And it's slowly deleting itself. Wonderful. This will not be very heavy for your computer or Android. You can completely make this game on phones. Flappy Bird was made on phones, so you have some idea. And you probably won't make millions out of it, but whatever. That's not why we are making games, right? Fuck. Okay. Seems like we have fixed this bug. And so next thing we will do is to create our obstacles, our problems, or whatever you want to call it. So let's copy it again, duplicate, and call it enemy, simply because I'm not more creative right now. Okay, start with deleting this and all this. You can delete all that. This can still stay same. And right now, what we will do is to actually create new cubes and create your obstacles like that. You actually can delete almost everything and make sure that you have it on the same coordinates. Okay, this should be fine. Everything to 0, and you can delete that as well. Let's copy it and make sure that you have here enough space to our box being able to fly through. Just make it much bigger. Okay, and now this shall stay the same. And let's go back to our where are you, my dear? To our blueprint game mode. And we will have to create another function. And this function will be called spawn next enemy. Alright then, let's copy it and we will spawn again. How would we call it? Actor. Yes, I should really do something with my memory, like reset it. And the blueprint we are going to create was called simply enemy, I believe. Yes, and spawn coordination will be here. Great. Okay. So let's go to floor, and simply after this part of code we will execute spawn next enemy. Right there, split transform, and let's start with having it in the same location. You can double click these links if you wanna have it better looking. Okay, compile it, and let's see what it will do. Let's press start. And here we go. We have some obstacles. And we have clearly led here much more space than we need. Well, as I am looking at it, I have to put our camera a little bit more back. And a little bit higher, as I see. Let's see if it helped. And okay, let's fix our enemy. What we need to do is to edit our enemy. And I will bring it closer. Okay, that's about more realistic. What do you think? It's starting to look... where are you going, my dear? Oh, did I just flow through that? I believe so. No, I didn't. It's cool. Okay. So, next thing we will do is to create our debt. No. We will do it later, actually. What we will do right now is to create variety in this enemy stuff. So we will do that by creating another arrow, putting it right in the middle, and here in hierarchy make sure that everything is under arrow, which means that now if I will move with arrow, everything will move with it. Okay, and now let's get to some proper coding. We will go to event graph, and if event begin play, oh come on my dear, we will add here sequence, which means that it will do two stuff at the same time, which means it will start with this and then do this. Oh no, not necessarily what am I talking about. It's exact opposite. It will do all these things in the same time, which is exactly what we want. Because what we will code is that at the beginning of this asset, when it will be created, it will move the arrow few units up or down. And for that, we will set it to move component 2. Okay, let's move this somewhere out of the way. Component will be arrow, which needs to be set here. And from here we will get location, warlock location. And here we will set it to plus. Oh, not int, we will set it vector plus vector. Okay. And now, from here, we will have to create new variable, which is very important part of game development, game programming actually, different types of variables. And right here, on the right corner, you will want to change it to array. It doesn't matter what it is telling you. Well, it does matter, but we won't tell them. Okay, and here this array helps you. It will store different types of variables for you. So right now I want to click this plus button and create a lot of different variables, because it will save or store different sets of coordinations, you can say, and I will use it just now. So this will set plus 100, this will be minus 100. Let's go wild, we will go to 250 and minus 150. Okay, and from here we will get a copy. And now we will set it up so it will choose randomly. And for that we will use random integer in range, and the range will be 0 to 4, which means 4. That means we have 5 different options it can choose from randomly. It's not actually random, but we call it random. In programming there is nothing actually random. Randomness doesn't exist. And yes, important thing, we are counting from 0. Programmers count from 0. You need to learn that. Okay, which means what it will do is it will move component arrow and with it our cubes, and it will get it from its location to it will get its location plus some of these coordinates, and it will do it in 0 time because I want to do it right there. Let's see if it works. Oh, and we have chosen. Well, it works. The problem is that we have choose the not exactly right coordinates. Okay, so the problem I have made, well, that was just a bit of my mistake, is that I have used absolute transform and I need to get a relative transform. We can probably not. We cannot. We'll get transform and make sure that you use get relative transform, split structure pin, and now connect it. Let's quickly check if it works. Yes, it seems to work. Wonderful. So now let's add here some of that randomness. And let's see what it will do. And it seems to work quite nicely. And now I see that I have made that space between it a little bit too small. Okay, one more time. Oh, let's increase that space simply. Is it all about it? Yes, it is quite alright. Okay, that seems to work. So next thing we will do is to create death. Yes, we are going to kill somebody. When I say somebody, I mean our cube, of course. So let's go to our how did I call it? New character. That's why you should name your characters properly. And we will create here function which will be called death. Parent emitter at location, and the template will be explosion. This is the reason why you have been starting this project with starter content, because otherwise you wouldn't have this explosion. And as location we will simply get our mesh, oh come on mate, and set it to get transform. Okay, I have done it again. We have to use get a wallet location right now and take it from mesh, connect it to location, and everything should be fine. And then destroy our actor. Destroy. Dude, I'm not even able to write. I'm recording this for far too long. Destroy actor. Wonderful. And under our enemy, let's go with component begin hit. Let's see if it works. And from here, cast to new character. And if it interacts with it, Let's get that. Okay, let's see if it creates generate overlap events is set to on local dynamics. So let's set it to overlap or dynamics. And it works beautifully now. I'm so happy that it exploded. Okay, now in that case we just have to simply set it same way here. Generate and overlap all dynamics. It's in here in details. Okay, let's copy it. Okay, we need to generate this as well. Set this here and copy it. Let's see if it works now. Wonderful. And the upper one. Great! Explosion!